Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bonnie's 2021 Spring Series. Thank you for being here. Wow, it's great to be with everyone again. I feel very happy and feel the onrush of everybody being together. We're going to take just a few moments to introduce everyone who is helping to make Bonnie's online classes possible. My name is Basha. I'm the project manager for Bonnie's events, books, and videos. I'm also Bonnie's daughter. We have Bonnie and Len.
Hi, I'm Len. I'm Bonnie's husband, the administrative director of the School for Body Mind Centering. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all again, and welcome to the new people.
We have Isa.
Hi, everybody. I'm Isa, Bonnie's son and the class administrator. Thank you for making the space to be here with us, and we look forward to sharing with all of you.
And Amardeep.
Hey everybody, my name is Amardeep. I'm a virtual event producer, and I'm happy to be part of the team.
In addition to hosting this class in Zoom, we are simultaneously broadcasting it on YouTube Live. If you experience any issues in Zoom, please go to the class on YouTube Live. I will post a link to the YouTube Live class in the Zoom chat in just a moment. If you have not already introduced yourselves in the Zoom or YouTube live chat, please take a moment to do so now. We'd love to know who you are, where you're from. It's also a nice way that we can say hi to each other since we are not able to see you. We open every class 30 minutes early so that we can all say hi and virtually mingle in the chat a bit. If you're able to, please join us for this pre-class time. For those of you attending the class in Zoom, you have an icon called chat and one called Q&A. If you have any questions for Bonnie about the materials she presents in class, please type it into the Q&A and she will take some time towards the end of class to respond to as many questions as she can. If you are joining the class on YouTube Live and have questions for her about the material she presents, please type it into the chat there. The Zoom chat for each class will be made available to all current and future participants of Bonnie's 2021 Spring Series. We do have a few guidelines for the chat. The chat is a space for sharing your experiences, thoughts, and questions about the material Bonnie presents. Promoting your class's events or services in the chat is not permitted. For everyone in Zoom, a reminder that if you want to share your chat message with everyone, you do need to change the setting in the chat drop-down menu from all panelists to all panelists and attendees in the drop-down menu before you send your message. If you don't want to see the Zoom chat pop-ups, there is a way to disable them. Please go to our Spring Series resources page to find instructions on how to disable the Zoom chat pop-ups. I will post a link to that page in the Zoom chat in just a moment. And without further ado, here's Bonnie. Enjoy class 1 of her spring series.
I've been sitting here for a half an hour witnessing your coming in to our circle around the earth. My heart is so full that I'm rather speechless with so much to absorb. So for those of you who are new, welcome to the circle. In a class, in a room, we circle the room. And now we are circling the earth. We really are. We are in so many time zones. spring and fall, night and day, today and tomorrow, yesterday. Extraordinary. We can hold hands through the space, and it comes through our hearts. We're real. Welcome back to those of you who've been with me for many years, for this last year, or yesterday, and for the first time. We can rest on the invisibility of space. We're not abducting our arms. This is robotic. We are resting and being moved by the space that is connecting us. It connects the planets. Why can it not connect us? The virus that has brought us together and separated us apart is invisible, but we feel the power. The internet is holding us together. It's invisible, but it's holding us. And we ourselves are magnetic. We can hold each other, though we cannot see each other. Powerful. I don't want to let go. Thank you. And this virus has caused so much trouble and pain and grief, life itself. And yet it brought us this. This was possible before, but I would not have experienced it. Not using computers and not knowing that this was a possibility. I'm crying a bit. Good way to start our workshop on the heart. The physical organ through which we feel each other. By the way, there's a new document that Basha, I think, put in your accounts today. She'll tell you more about it. I wrote a very short document to give a very brief overview. I can't take my hand away, but I want to talk about the previous 3 series as just a collecting, I could release it, something for those of you who've been with me, and for something for those of you who are new to have as a shadow of this series. For those of you who are new, I sometimes stutter and I sometimes have to pause speaking. Not moving, but speaking. In our vertical axis, which we actually spent the fall and the winter series, freeing the spine, opening our central channel, strengthening our postural tone in our belly, building the fire, the strength that will support this incredible vertical axis that we have. So rather than holding our vertical axis to be straight and tall and magnificent as we squeeze the life out of our tissues, how do we free this vertical axis? This was a major, other things, but major focus of the last two series. And I also would like to say, for people who are new as well as welcome, that, and for all of you who share this with me, grown it with me, that I chose different videos that are free to you that could fill the field and deepen the field of what we're doing in only 8. I can't do it with this hand very well. Only 8 classes, meetings, but other videos, some are very short, some are longer, that are there for you, here for you, if you want to deepen your practice and increase the field that surrounds this series. That's also something Basha will tell you more about. I feel like we're all in the same room. It's really interesting. We're getting closer to being real. So with this first establishing and freeing our vertical axis, it's rather the physical structure through which we develop our sense of self and personal being. It's also how we age with more ease, rather than holding this axis, that it's moving. I hope you're joining me. You see, it's a great way to age also. This might look wonderful when you were young. Yes, it is. It's great. But we lose our hips and we lose our spine in the process with aging, where we can be free. And for those of you who don't know, I'll be 80 this year and I'm still free. And a lot of it has to do with this freeing of the spine and the central channel being open to you're really early, but I'm bragging about, because I want to share this glory of aging. I'm only 79 a few months, 5 maybe. I distract myself. So just where you are, feeling this freedom to receive. And now in this series, in focusing on our heart, we're opening our horizontal axis, hand to hand. And our heart is the center. And it's our heart through which we open ourselves to others. Also, if we need to say no, it's through this center, not this one. This one we open to the universe, to spirit, to being and presence. And this one, we circle the earth. When this one is held in the center, then this one can get confused because the center is caught or held. As we free our axis through the vertical, which by the way is first in the development of the embryo and the fetus. I'm going to show some pictures of babies, but in the beginning, the axis is feet to head, and at birth, we open to the horizontal axis and other. I'm going to ask Amardeep to begin showing the baby slides because they speak so directly. So here's a baby in the womb and birthing. And we looked at these two patterns. The one on the left, I'm calling the baby ball reflex. I've renamed a lot of the reflexes because a lot of them were named after Dr. A, B, and C. And in sharing this work for almost 50 years, people would get caught up in which doctor's name went with which reflex. So I've given names, renames. I want to respect the people who identified them, but also to rename them closer to how they can be remembered. So the one on the left, the baby in the womb, there's also a wonderful descriptive term for this called physiological flexion. But in terms of the reflexes, I'm calling it the baby ball reflex, where from the feet, a flexor postural tone develops from the feet to the head in the last trimester in the womb. So a baby born early, they don't develop this fully in the womb, and we need to help them develop it after birth. So it's total body flexion. The one on the right, I'm calling the birthing reflex. It doesn't have a name as such before that I know of. And this is the full body extension postural tone that also develops from the feet and moves toward the head. So it's full body extension except for the arms, because until the baby is born, there's not room for the arms to extend outward. So on the next slide, here I wanted to show the birthing crown in the back of the skull. That's where the baby first, or the fetus, we change the name as soon as the baby emerges. That's the birthing crown. It's also, we see it in ancient Egyptian molding of the royal heads in that direction. Also the yarmulke in the Jewish faith, and there are others, but I don't know, but you may have other references to the birthing crown. And so again, this is what first emerges. And then I've showed the next slide, please, Amardeep. And then here already, the three crowns. There's the birthing crown, then there's the celestial crown, which is right at the top, and then the frontal crown. And so we birth all three crowns before the body. And next, please. And here are two babies. The baby on the left is a developed full-term baby, and the baby ball reflex is still present. It's also called physiological flexion, as I said. And the baby on the right is a premature baby and did not get enough resistance from the womb in that last 3 months to build the flexor tone. Next one, please. So here we see a newborn, 2 newborns, and rather, it doesn't, if the baby, I'm starting to stutter, I have to stop. When the baby's on the belly or the back, they maintain this baby ball posture. Extension develops later. Okay, next one. And here we see 2 mothers nursing, one at the breast and one at the bottom, to keep the baby will still be in the baby ball posture at this point, but beginning to make eye contact and to move into extension. So pause, I'm going to say something else, please, Amadit. That this physiological flexion, the baby ball reflex, and the birthing reflex, which I also have named physiological extension to balance the physiological flexion, they begin in the feet and go to the head. When the baby's born, through the birthing crown and the celestial crown and the frontal crown, we begin what's called anti-gravity extension, where we begin from the head and go to the feet, where the early pattern is starting in the feet into the flexion tone, postural tone, or as the baby's extending to push themselves out of the womb as the head comes out. This anti-gravity extension and flexion starts in the head, and that's where we gain our individuation. So we control the head, and then we control eventually the arms ahead of the feet last. So the anti-gravity flexion and extension comes down from the head and individuates our movement, where the earlier pattern comes up from the feet as whole body patterns, and whole body patterns, pause. And then the one from the head individuates. These are very important in terms of initiation. The one brings a strong postural tone, and the other one differentiates each part from the other. The early ones start with flexion. Physiological flexion is stronger than the extension, and coming down from the head, the extension is stronger than the flexion. We'll look at that more. All right, next one, please. So here are the dads. And again, this is looking at the myth of the mother, father, child, that there can be 2 mothers, 2 fathers, 1 mother, 1 father. So these are looking at it in the triad, but the triad now is becoming more fluid in terms of gender identification and possibility. But here we have the 2 fathers and the importance of contact of the belly to belly. Also, the baby is in a relationship to the earth as well as to the father on the left. And the one on the right is a beginning of vertical posturing, but still supported on the front of the body, and then with the what you call the scar encased in the back. And that's very important for, in particular, all babies, but for the baby born early, to wrap them securely and carry them on the body so that they can develop this physiological flexion that they were not able to do in the womb. Next, please. So here we have the mother and the baby, and she's holding the back of the head and the back of the neck. So inflection, and then the beginning of birthing, the same birthing movement, extension through the head to discover other. So in the womb, we discover self, and within the field of the womb and the mother's field, and upon birth, begin to discover other from our first movement into the world, leading with our head, pushing with our feet. Now, many of us did not experience that evolutionary path, but it's still in us as an innate pattern. However, we were born, we still have within us this pattern of possibility, both to build postural tone, build flexor postural tone, extensor postural tone, and then the beginning of anti-gravity extension and then flexion from our head. Next, please. So here is another example of the baby beginning to discover other from the head, eye contact, nursing, mouth contact. Nose is also the smell of those who are with us as we emerge and live in the outer world. Okay, next, please. I'm showing this one that the baby on the left is a newborn, showing physiological extension or the birthing reflex with the one leg. The leg that's in contact with the surface extends the baby upward through the head, and but the arms are not included in extension at this early phase. They're still flexed. And then these patterns that I'm sharing with you are with us throughout life. And we see the little girl on the right is learning to stand through the physiological extension or the birthing reflex is still underneath. And it's showing up quite a bit at this point. Okay, next. Okay, here's a pause. So that was what we were exploring primarily in the winter series. So now we are moving to the horizontal axis and to what I am calling the embracing reflex. The traditional term is the startle or the moro. And this particular reflex has been identified greatly as a stress response. And what I'm wanting to do with these series, and also I'm hoping to finish this year a book on the reflexes, that they are not initially stress responses, that they are basic responses that can hold our stories. And so they can hold the stress, but they can also hold the embrace. And when a baby hears a loud sound, it's a newborn baby, a loud sound or a quick movement, they will extend their upper body backward and open the arm, open the hands, open the arms in the horizontal. It has a second phase. And one of the issues with the moro and the startle, when it's viewed from trauma, and it is a trauma, it does express strong emotions, and trauma is one of them, is that it lacks the second phase. So the second phase, if it's supported, the arms will come forward into an embrace. This is one of the most important slides. This is how the newborn expresses the moro, the startle, or in renaming it, the embracing reflex. Next, please. So here we see the nursing baby exploring, engaging the very same pattern. Before grasping the nipple, the breast, before you take hold of something, you have to open to it. And at this stage, in the newborn, the mouth is not separate from the rest of the body. So they have to open their whole body in order to take hold of the nipple. And one of the difficulties with bottle feeding is that there's the tendency for the adult to put the nipple of the bottle in the baby's mouth instead of holding the bottle next to the breast of whoever is feeding the baby, so the baby can find the nipple and be in control of their own nourishment, rather than they are passive and it's just placed in their mouth. And I see people in supermarkets and the babies are carrying the babies, and there's not the relationship of the taking hold of the nipple. The baby is just have the bottle propped in their mouth. They even have proppers for bottles, or the adult is holding it and taking it in and out. So this is, again, a wonderful image that this baby has given us. These were taken from real babies and turned into this more schematic, but showing us this process, that it's a way of accepting and reaching for nourishment. Next, please. Here's another baby about 2 months old who is visually now tracking, showing the moral. They're surprised. And a lot of these reflexes are due to surprise. And somehow surprise got translated into shock. Yes, it is a shock some of the time, but most of the time it's surprise. It depends on the support in the environment, which one it is, and how we can come back to this basic one of survival in a joyful way, what has been traumatic. But this baby doesn't yet have the ability to carry through to their hands, but their head, this is a development from the anti-gravity from the head down. It hasn't yet reached the hands, only the upper back, the upper arms, and the head. Next, please. So this baby is showing the same response, but has developed further so that now they are able to take hold, not just with their mouth and their eyes, but with their hands as well. And if you can see, the heart is at the center of this response. It's both the bridge between the vertical and with the horizontal axis. The vertical of self and the horizontal with other. The other can be people, it can be objects, eventually ideas. Okay, next, please. So here the baby is developing control of, to grasp a very small object, the ring finger. But the mouth is still underneath it, so they're not extending fully outward with both hands, but through the eyes and the mouth, it's still a whole body underneath the grasping of the hand. Okay, next, please. Here's a delightful one of the take before bringing into the, I have to pause for a minute, actually bringing it by holding in the hand to the mouth. And the heart is still a key pivotal center for what we have in our hands to bring to our mouth, our own nourishment, our own curiosity. Next, please. Here we're seeing another child that's a stage beyond the early child that we saw, who was more re-engaging the birthing reflex or physiological extension. This little girl has the vertical axis, and she's developing the horizontal axis to embrace the space that will bring her into standing. So she's still under the strong influence of the embracing reflex to gain vertical balance, to walk. Next, please. These were just a couple of extra ones showing how rolling is embracing, that we embrace with our legs eventually, our whole body, and that gives us the integration to roll and to catch a ball. Is that the last one, Amardeep?
Let me check, 1 second.
I didn't keep track. I think that's the last one.
Yep, that's the last one.
All right, thank you. Okay, back to, I hope you enjoyed those babies. I always do. Rodrigo Ahaya is a Brazilian artist, wonderful Brazilian artist. And he is producing these for the new book. So thank you, Rodrigo. If you have any comments, I can't see them now, but I can read them afterward. I love to hear from you, your questions and your insights and what you're doing. And yeah, I spend a couple of hours at the end just going through. All right, so what about, I think I'm too warm now. So, Amardeep, would you show us now the screen of the location of the heart, please? Give you a few minutes to read what is there and to see the location. I don't need to be on the screen at this point. Yeah. Maybe I'll read it out loud I know some of you are not strong English speakers and may be reading. The heart is situated in the mediastinum. And the mediastinum is the area between the two lungs. Between the two lungs, a little to the left of midline. So as you're looking here, the heart does overlap the midline. So it also is somewhat on the right, though it's mostly on the left. It lies on the oblique angle to the vertical axis of the body and is rotated slightly toward the left. The mediastinum is the area of the thoracic cavity between the two pleural cavities containing the lungs. The connective tissue of the mediastinum surrounds and connects the pericardial cavity containing the heart and the large arteries and veins attached to the heart, the esophagus, trachea, and thymus. I think come back to me and we may go back to that picture again. This picture will be in your account. Basha will tell you for you to color if you so choose to do so. So I've read that the heart is about the size of your fist. So as a child learning the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, we put our hand over the heart. And that's about where it is if you have that same ritual. So for a moment, maybe put one hand on your head and one on your heart, and feel how, are you holding in your spine? And if you're holding in your spine, can you feel the tension here in your heart? And then let it go. That they're complementary processes. So we say that they are a thing, they are a matter, but they're a process, and they're always moving, always breathing, always internally shifting. So when we hold the heart, we also hold our spine. When we free our heart, we free our spine. So in this first class of this session is really a key for the whole life. That whatever is happening here through your heart area is happening through your vertical. And whatever is happening in your vertical is happening here in your horizontal. So this axis, the heart, is the center of its connection. So find your freedom. Let me give another example. A baby that's born, maybe I go this way, that's born early, and some of you were born early, you just were. And in a way, it sets a path for your life that can be, it has its trials, but it also has its wisdom. So we each carry our own wisdom paths, and underneath them, there's resistance, there's struggle. It's like in the womb, it's that tightness, that struggle that gives us the strength to enter the world. And so if you are someone who didn't have that struggle here, then you're having it outside. And how do you create? And how do we create for each other the resistance that provides us strength rather than that we collapse under it? So everybody kind of collapsed. Because sometimes we feel collapsed and we struggle to keep going. Because there are a lot of things that would keep us down. So how do we, well, we looked in the last series, how do we circle the birthing crown, the celestial crown, the frontal crown? How do we free these crowns so that we can come up? And if you weren't here, by the way, in the last series, the first classes of every series is free. So you can always go back and see if you like it, if you want it. It's how deep this path exploration is for you. So anyway, you free this. So it's not to come up by pressing the heart. You can do it. You can press your heart forward and that'll bring you up. But oh my God, I've done it, did it for years. Maybe you have too. How do you come up with the birthing crown, celestial crown, frontal crown, and working your way, opening that the heart is not a vertical coming up, it's a widening. So I'm going to put this ball aside. You can put your chair aside and back up. Pull up my pants. That you can do it sitting or lying in your bed. Some of you, it's 4 a.m. maybe of tomorrow. And feel how you can rest your heart in the center of your thoracic space. So we have the space below our thoracic diaphragm and our pelvic diaphragm. We have this space of the belly that, again, we spent time building the fire in the belly in the winter series to provide a good, strong base for the spine to grow out of through the baby ball and the birthing, and how we can free the vertical axis, free our hearts to rest in front of the spine, but in the center of the body. So how can we move around with a resting heart so that we're not using our heart, straining our heart to move? So instead of, I don't want to do it too much because I did it a long time, many, many years of reaching with my heart instead of that my heart could rest. It could rest. I'm not pressing it. It's resting in the center. And the spine is free. So just exploring, it's a heart dance. It's a spinal dance, but they're free, open to receive. No matter what the posture, we don't have to twist our heart. It can stay resting inside. This is nice. We don't have music. We can't use already produced music because you have to, rightfully so, contact the musicians and the composers. So play the music yourself that you have in your own home to move a dance of your heart in which your heart is free. Your spine is free. You are free. And you are free to embrace, to open, to close. I can close and say no, but my heart is still free. I didn't close with my heart. My heart is still open. I didn't have to close it to myself. If I close it to you, I have to be careful. I know how to do it so well. By closing my heart, I've closed it in my vertical self as well. So feel how no matter what you do, your heart is still open to the universal spirit, which is invisible but powerful. So you dance, or just move however you want. I like to dance with freedom for your whole life, not just when you're young and at all ages, as a child, as a baby. How do we help each other and how do we open ourselves? So I hope you're moving. I'm having fun. Free, free, loving, embracing, stepping back. No, but I didn't close my heart to say no to me. I'm just saying no to this, whatever this is, but not to you. I'm saying yes to you. I'm so happy to be here today with you. So I'm not going to move for a few minutes. I'm going to watch you. Now, I know that I can't see you, but I know that I'm in your space. I know I'm where you are and I'm looking. I'm holding the space for you to be free, to be well, to move with joy, or to express your sadness or to express your anger, but don't close off your heart. You can be angry. You can be very sad, but your heart is free. You don't have to twist it up into knots. It's spiraled already. It can express anything. You're free if you choose to be. But it requires feeling, because the heart will express what it's holding. So you have to be willing to embrace what it has to express. And if you're not, then just say, could I just be free a little bit more? You can't force it. If you force it, you're just creating more tension. Just release what you can in whatever way you can. I said I'd be quiet, but I wasn't. I'm both looking at you and I'm reading the chat. Occasionally I see a bird. I saw, I think it was Elizabeth, resistance to opening fully. Accept that resistance and just yield what you can. It's not to be forced. Just tell your heart when you're ready. When your heart is ready, you are ready to receive it. We hold a lot, you know. Yeah, just soften where you can. Feel what you can feel. Ask for the softness and be patient. And we are supporting each other. Thank you, Paula. We do need to support each other. Babies that are not held and cared for, they either die or they don't develop fully. We We were born to be together. So we're together in this strange new way. But the world is opening for many. The vaccine. I'm free now as of Tuesday, 2 weeks after the last one, to begin to leave my home. I'm very grateful. What does it feel like to have a free heart? I'm thinking, Basha, we're coming around to the end of the hour. This might be a time that we can share with questions, hopefully no answers, but responses. Keep dancing, keep moving. But maybe we could have some exchange here.
Sure. The first question has to do with the heart and the voice. As you were moving with a free heart, demonstrating that very beautifully, you were vocalizing some. Can you speak to the relationship of the heart and the voice?
There's sometimes, you know, the feeling is stronger than the language in speech. I think it's easier if I sing. I've lost a lot of my voice post-polio and also the fires last year, smoke here. So I'm not going to apologize. I'm close to it, but I'm just going to sing. Overcome my shyness. And listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will always remember you. Thank you for being you. I don't know if I answered your question, but I could be your question. Why don't you sing also now? Some of that is an old song, but some of that I made it up. So what if it's your turn now, each of you who want to release your heart and let words come out. I'm listening even though I can't hear you. I don't know if you're finished singing, just keep singing. But if there's another question or comment, doesn't have to be a question.
Yeah, we do have more questions. We've had a couple of questions come in. People are experiencing when I'm collecting a few questions that articulated into something a little simpler. So the relationship of the heart and in becoming in touch and releasing the heart, letting go of holding. We've had some people share that they have been experiencing some tightness in the solar plexus or flaring in the ribs. I'm wondering if you could speak to these experiences when people do release their heart, these secondary experiences, and how people might be able to be with them or approach them.
Yes. One of the practices that I have is to notice what I'm doing. And this is over, many, many decades now. And it becomes more subtle. But this I think it was Swedish, where you contract your fist and then you release the contraction, and you tighten your fist and you release it. On the other side, you tighten and you release, and you tighten and you release. That until you feel the tightening, how do you know what to release? if we just like stiff, it's hard to release a stiff. But if you increase the stiffness into a contraction, then you have a path to release it. So this area of the solar plexus, it's an area that I would say a good many of us, I won't say all because I don't know all people, but many of us hold tension in this area. Can you somehow bring to consciousness how you are holding that tension? So right now I just feel tense. Well, and I just increase how I feel tense, so I have something to let go. Or I'm going like that, and well, make it, increase it. In other words, become the leader of the. I just thought of. I'm going to let that go. I have to go there because I'm laughing as a kid. Who's the leader of the band that's made for you and me? MICKEYMOUSE, Mickey Mouse. How do you become the leader of the band so that you can change direction instead of being afraid of the path? It's your path, my path, it's our path. How do we accept the path that hurts so that we can let it go? If we won't feel it, then we can't let it go. Oh yeah, Donald Duck, that was the next part. Thanks, Robin. So maybe, there's an exploration that we do sometimes in body mind centering, and that's to lie on your back and to take a nice stone. I like a river rock. I have a collection of river rocks. And lie on your back, but anything precious to you. I like a river rock because it has weight. That you could put a sandbag or anything. But somehow the river rock works for me. And put it on your solar plexus while you're lying down on your back and just breathing. I guess you could put your hands there too. And just breathe and breathe. And look for the breath that's in the water. I'm not being clear yet. If this area is a lake or a river or a lake, the ocean's a little bit too big for me, but maybe the ocean would work for you. That rock is lying, floating on the lake or the river. And you sink to the bottom of the river or the lake. And so the current can flow under the rock. So the rock is floating. You drop underneath in the current. That's just an image. It actually comes from a practice of the pancreas, which is the organ there. And an experience that I had where I felt the pancreas, when I released it, secreted into the interstitial fluid. Now, the pancreas, according to the science, releases secretions into the duodenum for digestion. It also secretes insulin into the blood as an endocrine function. So it has an exocrine function for digestion and a endocrine function in terms of the blood, taking insulin throughout the body. And I can go on and on. I'm going to go further. There was a doctor in Scotland, Dr. Beard, I think at the end of the 1800s, who was doing research with embryology and cancer. And he found that the placenta, that, well, let me start. In the embryo, we have the person developing, and then we're developing the structure that holds us. And that structure enters into the mother and connects to her blood system and all, very much like cancer. And the mother doesn't reject it. But then at some point that stops, where cancer doesn't, how we wanted to get it to stop. So he was looking at what would be a clue in why the placenta and the support that the baby was creating for itself stops. And he noticed about the same time that the invasion of the mother's tissue, about the time that it stopped, that I don't know how he did this there so long ago, that the pancreas started secreting digestive enzymes, pancreatic digestive enzymes. And he thought, why did the pancreas secrete digestive enzymes when the baby didn't need them until after birth? So anyway, I don't know. You have to check Dr. Beard. Don't trust anything that I said I read because it can get mixed up here. But what I did is I took that information and I transferred it to a rock resting in this center. And what I felt was that the pancreas was also secreting into the interstitial fluid, which is not in the science. There's no proof of it. Often people say, well, is there any way I can read about it? No, you can only explore it and see what you come up with yourself. So this area here is a very important area because it's also the area where as an embryo, when we're just two layers, a front body and a back body, endoderm, ectoderm, we create the yolk sac in the front for our nourishment before we connect to the mother. And we create an amniotic cavity in the back body creates the amniotic cavity that we eventually swim in. And the yolk sac is brought in here at the solar plexus and it goes up to the mouth and the anus, except it's the whole perineum. We don't have a perineum, but that cloaca it's called. So we develop our digestive tract from this into here, and the lungs come off of that same tract. You didn't know this question, right, was going to end up here. So this is where we brought in our own nourishment, and then from the bottom, a piece grew out through a navel that we reach for it through the mother. But this is our own nourishment. And this area is where we're the most asymmetrical in the whole body. There's no symmetry here at all. So that there's tension here is a big question of wonder and curiosity. It's a path of discovery. So that on and on and on and on. That's one of the explorations that I found very helpful. You may find that secretion or you may not, but that I have felt this other secretion traveling through from the pancreas, not through the blood, not through digestive system, but through the interstitium. So feel your tension, find out what your story is there. It's just recording a story that was too hard. Well, I don't know, but my experience, that it's recording a story that you couldn't accept at the time. And maybe a little bit now you can accept it and go, you know what? I don't have to hold here now because of what happened before. It's gone. It's over. So I don't have to keep holding that pattern unless do I want to? Let me figure out what the pattern is. Let me just take out the knot. That's over. But in the process of releasing, we accept what we couldn't accept before. We still have time if there's somebody else daring to ask anything.
Yes, we have lots of questions in. I'm going to share this question that somebody who is new to this, all of this, and they asked, they were wondering what you were doing when you said you were moving so that the heart was not being caught up in the physical movement. And that was when you were so beautifully moving towards the middle of class. Could you share what you actually were doing there? How you were moving so that the heart was not being caught up?
All right. In order to show it, I have to do it, right? So we don't have one of those cameras, that goes flying down, but if I have to do this carefully because I'm doing what I'm saying. If I push my heart forward, I will go like that. You'll see it in a yoga class, you'll see it in a dance class. But how do I go forward if I don't push my heart? I fall backward. But I am not pushing forward. My heart is resting. And because it's resting, I am free. I'm going to push for a moment. That's pushing. I'm resisting gravity here. I'm free with gravity. When I was young, I could do a flip. Not anymore. Some things are not possible. So again, I am resting my heart in my vertical axis. I am not collapsing it out of my body. See the tangent? Here, I have another tangent. Here, I'm resting it in my body. I'm free. Here, I am pressing my heart into my back to go over. Here, I'm collapsing it out of my body. Here, it's in my body. It's free. It's a practice. We have to want to practice enough to, if you can bring the camera down, please. You have to want it enough to practice. And then to practice. Otherwise, that's interesting. All are fine. Thank you for the question. It gives me a chance to be clear in myself. And others have the question, but they didn't ask it. Thank you.
All right, that is all the time that we have for questions today. Thank you, everyone, for asking them. Even though Bonnie is not able to respond to all of them during class, she does read them after class, and they help to her to plan for her next class. The black and white version of the location of the heart illustration has been added to your account on our website as a black and white PDF document. I will add a video called 2021 Spring Series Colored Illustrations to your account after class. This video will show the colored version of the location of the heart that you saw in class today so that you can see how Bonnie colored hers. I will add to this video as the spring series unfolds. If you have access to a printer and would like to color, we encourage you to print up the black and white versions of the illustrations and color them in yourself. The illustrations of the babies will not be added to your account. They are just for showing in class. And if you'd like to see them again, you can always come back to the class recording. The document Bonnie mentioned in the beginning of class is also in your account on our website. It's called Overview of Online Series Themes 2020 through 2021. Bonnie also mentioned that she has some free videos available for you, and you can find those videos listed on our Spring Series resources page under the supplementary videos to deepen your practice section. I do have a brief copyright notice I need to read for you. The illustrations and all materials you receive from us are copyrighted material of Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen. No part of the documents or videos, either text or image, may be used for any purpose other than your own personal use. These documents are for use of your own study of the material. You may not share them with others, post them on social media, websites, blogs, use them in your classes, or print and hand them out. Thank you for respecting Bonnie's copyright. And that brings us to the end of class. I do have some information to share with you, including information about study groups and an upcoming event that Bonnie will be participating in. But before I do that, Bonnie, if you would like to close the teaching part of class.
Until next week, I'm so happy that we're here together again. Love you guys. Hang in there. Be happy. Be well. And feel the resting of your heart. It can guide you. Bye.
Thank you for a wonderful class, and thank you for being here. It's amazing to be with everyone again. This class is being recorded, and the recording will be made available to all who are registered for Bonnie's Spring Series. The recording will be made available through streaming on our website. You will have access to it even after the Spring Series is over. The class recording will stay in your account indefinitely, so you can watch it as many times as you'd like, whenever you'd like. We will email you when the class recording is ready to be viewed. It usually takes us 1 to 2 days to get the class recording ready for you. English language captions will be added to the videos when we receive them from the captioning company. If you are interested in reviewing or deepening your understanding of the material Bonnie presented, we encourage you to join a study group. Study groups are being offered around the material Bonnie presents in her Spring Series classes. These study groups are organized by body-mind centering professionals who have met specific educational and professional requirements. There are currently 7 study groups offered. Some are in English, French, Italian, and Portuguese. So for those of you for whom English is not your first language, you may be able to study in your mother tongue. Information about how to connect with people facilitating study groups is on our Spring Series resources page in the study group section. And we will include this information and a link to the Spring Series resources page in the email we send you later today. I will also post a link to this page in the chats in just a moment. Please note that we are not organizing or running these study groups. They are being offered by individuals and organizations outside of Bonnie's office. So you will need to contact them directly to join a study group or with any questions. Spring Series resources, if you have not taken a look at it yet, we have included this link in all of our emails to you so far. It's a page that lists resources and important information for participants of Bonnie's Spring Series. This includes links to free supplementary videos to deepen your practice, instructions on how to access class recordings, chat guidelines, how to hide chat pop-ups in Zoom, how to connect with study groups, and other resources Bonnie would like you to know about. And we will add to this as the Spring Series unfolds. We also have a Spring Series frequently asked questions page and a general FAQ page. And many of the questions that we get are answered on these 3 pages. We will include links to all 3 pages in the email we send you later today. Our emails sometimes go to spam or promotions folders rather than inboxes. So please remember to check your spam or promotions folder if you don't see email from us in your inbox and you know that you should be getting an email from us with a Zoom link or a post-class email. Bonnie will be presenting at an online event starting next week. Join her for the Body Mind Centering Spinning a BMC Web online somatic symposium. The event will be held May 13th through 18th, and Bonnie is the featured presenter, and she is offering a session on research through embodied movement consciousness. Registration for the Somatic Symposium includes real-time participation in 60 live symposium events and access to downloadable recording of the events. Pay What You Can scholarships are available through the Body Mind Centering Association, and their scholarship application deadline is Monday, May 10th. This is an event hosted by the Body Mind Centering Association. Please contact them directly with any questions to apply for their Pay What You Can scholarship and to register. We will include this information in the email we send you after class. We are still accepting registrations for Bonnie's Spring Series. Please help us to spread the word. We are keeping the Pay from the Heart scholarships and payment plan options available. We would like everyone who wants to study with Bonnie to be able to study with her in her Spring Series, regardless of financial situation. Our Pay from the Heart scholarship offers scholarship assistance based on what people are able to pay. So please share this scholarship with anyone that you know who may be interested in studying with Bonnie for her Spring Series and needs financial assistance to do so. Our Pay from the Heart scholarship is a community project. It looks at how we can support one another as individuals and as a community. If you would like to help support the registration of those who need the scholarship to attend Bonnie's Spring Series, you can help support the registration on our Support the Scholarship page on our website. I will include a link to that page in the email we send you later today. And that's it for announcements. Please stay for a few more minutes and we'll put some of the information I just shared on the screen. You have a few more minutes to communicate with Bonnie and with each other through the Zoom and YouTube live chats. Thank you all for being here for Class 1 of Bonnie's 2021 Spring Series. We look forward to being with you again on May 13th. Take care.